everyone, it's Roseline, and you're watching another Supernatural review, and this is season 7, episode 12, Time After Time. If you're new here, I do a recap and review of every single episode of Supernatural, so let's get into it. So I totally forgot this episode was happening now, and I think I've talked about this before, that in every season they do like kind of like a theme special episode kind of thing. So like last season was the Western episode where they time traveled to that time period, and then this one he was in the 40s and in Chicago, I guess. And I feel like not every time they do these it has to involve time travel. I guess this one and the last one did, but I totally forgot that happened, and so it's just like fun to have that. So I actually kind of enjoyed this episode, and I was like, where do I put it on the top list? And right now it's on the top, it's like number 1 on the list, which I'm like, I don't feel like it's a number 1. But again, like, I just really, like, I feel like a lot of episodes this season is like, okay, good. And none of them like really stand out. And like the one that I always like remembered, the season 7 Time for a Wedding, actually wasn't that good. When we analyzed it, it was still good, but not, it was like overrated or overhyped in my head or whatever. And definitely I feel like, I don't know, like this doesn't feel like the best episode of a season, definitely, but if so far it is, and we're like halfway through the season, so, which like last episode Sam and Dean were separate for a while, and I was very critical of that because, you know, they're just better together. So this episode they were kind of separate for a lot of it too, but I don't know, it just worked a little bit better because it was still kind of, they were connected in a way. And so maybe that's the thing where it like works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't work. And so last episode it didn't work as well, but this episode it worked better. So they brought in Jody again, which this is maybe our second time seeing her this season. So it's something where it's like, now that Bobby's let go, maybe they're trying different things, and so they're not going to use obviously Jody as much as Bobby, but maybe she could be like another resource. And I don't know, like I'm thinking about like, could they done this episode without someone else? But you know, when you think about it, where it's like Sam and Dean are separate, then it's like Sam, technically it's 2 different storylines, like Sam's all alone, so it like makes sense that there would be someone else there. And you know, if Bobby was still alive, like it would have been Bobby. And so I don't know if writers are now regretting the decision of not having Bobby there. So they were like, okay, what can we do? And so they decided to go with Jody. And I guess it was something I do want to point out is this episode had like really like a lot of like iconic and funny and like strong lines. Like it was really well written, and so many lines, like I can't believe like so many iconic lines that we remember from Supernatural is from this episode. Like it's crazy. You know, it's funny they bring up the time travel thing because technically it's in this universe, but it's not used that much. And like, I don't know, like I feel like in any show or any universe or whatever it is, if you have time travel, it like changes everything. And so it's kind of crazy how like time travel like didn't have a huge effect on Supernatural, and it's something like, why don't you use it more? But it kind of makes sense to have like someone who like time travels and then, you know, has kills in different time periods, and so that makes sense that then Dean would go to a different time. And so I think they just wanted, maybe they were trying to think of what to do, you know, let's not have a Leviathan episode, let's try something else. And so they were like, we haven't done a god in a while, and I think the last time we had that god was that episode in season 6 where it was like that really, really bad episode where it was like something about lawyer and like defending yourself. And so they were like, what if we do this one god with time and like play in time travel, and then we get to go have Dean go to a different time period. And so they picked this time period, which technically this is like during World War II. But it's I think that's probably how it all played out, and they haven't had an episode like this in a while, so it makes sense. I don't know, maybe it was the other way around where they were like, we want to have a themed episode, why don't we have Dean in the 40s? And then we're able to figure out how to make an episode work from that. I mean, the whole element of like Sam and Dean, like, you know, we saw this a little bit last time they time traveled with the Western about like notes and stuff. And so like it's so like, it's a little bit on the nose, like how, you know, like was Sam really gonna spot that? But I guess it just happened and they had to make it happen. They tried their best to make it logistical and make sense, but it's still like, you know, what are the chances? So I'm trying to think, like, why was this episode so good? Like, it's not so good, it's just medium good, but it's just better than all the other episodes we've had so far. And it's just because it had so many great lines. It was like funny. It just worked. It was very episodic, and we haven't had a lot of those that felt episodic. So I really think that's the reason. But I'm not going to talk about this further, so I'm going to end it here. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye.